Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm going to be reviewing episode 8 of season 2 of The Walking Dead, Nebraska. So, yeah, Nebraska is the name of the episode. Walking Dead, obviously, season 2, episode 8. So, as review goes, I'll do a quick synopsis, likes and dislikes, and then I'll rate it. But beforehand, I just want to say that I'm trying to catch up to wherever the hell we are. No, that came out wrong, but up to the point we are in The Walking Dead, trying to get as much reviews in as possible. So yeah, this Sunday's though, the is the next episode of Walking Dead. It comes back February 9th. The episode is called After, and after that we just get a bunch of new episodes and whatever. But besides the point, I'm trying to make one, maybe two, at tops three or whatever, as much Walking Dead review videos as I can before the start actually gets here. So yeah, Now for those who haven't seen the episodes for whatever reason, or this episode for whatever reason, you're trying to catch up or you're just starting the whole series or whatever, I recommend you stop this video, go watch it somehow, Netflix or DVD or whatever, um, rent it on Amazon if you want, your choice, and basically watch the episode and then come back here if you want to watch the review, which I almost guarantee you will. But besides the point. Yeah. Now to the thing. Wait. Before that, a few seconds for you guys who don't want to watch the video, cause you don't want anything spoiled. Time for you to go. Starting now. So yeah. I already gave you the time for you guys to leave. You can always leave anytime in this video, but I gave you a fair warning, so don't complain later on that I didn't give you any warnings. So yeah, season 2, episode 8, Nebraska of Walking Dead. Basically a quick synopsis for this episode is after the barn shooting from the previous episode pretty much said already. The whole barn shooting and the whole barn incident. Hershel goes back to alcoholism and goes to this bar in the nearby town. Rick and Glenn later in the episode they decide to go after him, to make sure he's all right, and also because Beth had some kind of panic attack or shock or whatever because of her zombified mom's death. So yeah. She tries to commit suicide. And whatever. So that's on one extreme. Well, not in this episode, but she's kind of in shock. I think it's in the next episode. She decides to commit suicide. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. I guess I'm just excited. Sorry, she doesn't decide to commit suicide. Beth does not decide to commit suicide in this episode. I think it's in one or two episodes, but whatever. 18 miles out is the name of the episode. But besides the point, basically Beth fainted. She had some kind of panic attack. She's pale as hell, and she may have died or may have been dying. Better said. Okay. Now, while in the bar, Rick, Hershel, and Rick and Glenn are trying to convince Hershel to come back onto to the farm. So not to abandon his girl, so he doesn't die and get wasted in this bar. Halfway through this episode, we see these two new guys called Dave and Tony, and they're basically trying to haggle with Rick, trying to convince him that they also are trying to survive. Maybe both of their groups could pull off their resources or whatever, combine their resources and survive together. That doesn't happen considering both of their attitudes. Both of them being kind of douchey and hot-headed and kind of just douchebag assholes, hot-headed and possibly dangerous. Since at one point, Dave said, "You got women," and then Tony goes on and says, "Haven't had a good piece of ass in weeks." So possibly rape. So that would have been dangerous. Rick and Hershel, they caught on to it very fast. Glenn, he was just happy to see more people alive. And he completely, threw out his thoughts out the window, about, being cautious with strangers. So yeah, at the end of the episode, Rick kills them, and yeah. Now, the real thing that really stuck with me in this episode was that Rick killed not one but two people, and that's a huge character development in this episode. And it's one of those things. It's about time. Like, they should have done it by the end of the season, and I think they did it very well. They had to die one way or another. Unless whatever, unless for whatever reason they would have actually joined with Dave and Tony, pulled out their resources, and then all hell would have broken loose in the farm. Yeah. This episode gives you a lot of character development, mostly for Rick, but it does give you a bit more on some of the other characters. Taking care of Beth, Maggie, and Lori, and yeah, Maggie, Lori, and I think Andrea. Yeah. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Sorry, something in my throat. Whatever. What was I saying? Okay. Also have Carol coping with the loss of her daughter, which is also in the plot. Sorry, I forgot to mention that, but you also have her, and she's basically like going AWOL at this part, and she doesn't really know how to react. Daryl and Lori are trying to make her come back from this shock. But she's like denying it, just like leave me the hell alone. I know everybody thinks I'm crazy, so let me be crazy by myself type of thing. She basically went AWOL, which I think was the second best character development for this episode, and for Carol overall. I mean, you barely see her flesh out up until this episode, and then we don't get to see any more of her flesh out to like season 4. Let's be honest. So yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, the acting, the writing is always cool. I mean, as usual, the season 2 episodes, most of them are a bit slow. This was towards the middle was a bit slow. Parts of it was like parts and pieces of it were slow. I mean, it had a very odd pacing in my opinion. So yeah, that's really the only complaint I could think of. So yeah, for a rate on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 6 being decent, I put this one at a 7.75, 7.75, whatever, however you want to say it. Because I mean the pacing is a bit odd, and that's really most of my complaint. I mean, and it really did come big from pretty much that already the mid-season final, and this is the mid-season premiere. So so that was good. I mean, the character developments were good, and the whole plot made sense. Starting off from here, and it is kind of cool to see a bit of more Herschel in his role and the group at current point at the point of this episode and the season overall, whatever. So yeah, that's basically it for this review. 7.75 out of 10 is what I would rate it. So yeah, subscribe. I also do other Walking Dead episode reviews. I also review some of the comic books, Walking Dead comic books. Besides, I also review other types of comic books, TV shows, and movies. So yeah, comment below on your thoughts on this episode. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you think it should be more than 7.75 or less than 7.75? Put your thoughts down in the comments. Watch the previous video and previous episode review, and the next episode review, and the next video when I put it up, and subscribe. So yeah, share on Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, Vine, or whatever you guys prefer. And yeah, tell your friends, families, and neighbors about me, my channel, and this episode. If you haven't seen it yet, and just the show overall, because it is a great show. Remember to tell them if they like the show, that the season comes back. The series comes back, on February 9th, this Sunday. So yeah, yeah, that's basically it for this this video. Yeah, so that's basically it for this video. This is Daniel Martz signing off.